If there is one driver that has been disappointed with the cards he's been dealt by his team, that has to be Lewis Hamilton. We've heard the 7-time world champion complaining constantly about how the car has performed and why he isn't seeing any results from the W13. This is something he has addressed yet again, just like he did multiple times this season, but this assessment is likely going to help the team when it comes to developing the W14 version of the car. So don't go anywhere because we have some juicy comments coming your way. It goes without saying that the 2022 season was the most challenging one for Mercedes, and the fact that they have struggled so much with race pace only goes to show that they have so much homework for the 2023 season. Rest assured that they have started the homework in question, something that we'll address later on in this video, but it's also very important for them to learn what went wrong with the 2022 version of this car. One way of doing this is by listening to the extensive feedback that the drivers provide to them after every session and every practice. Then, Hamilton was questioned by the media about how the W13 was performing, comparing it to a prancing horse with no limits. I described it to my engineers. Imagine if you are creeping up behind a horse and you're trying to get as close as possible. What's the breaking point before it kicks you in the face? And you know it's going to hurt when it hits your face. That's one of the best ways I can say what it's like when you're trying to lean on the car and it's snapping and unrecoverable. And this car, it's random. Still, wasn't there something that Mercedes could do when it comes to fixing the most obvious problems, such as the porpoising and the stiffness of the car? According to Hamilton, he knew that the problems would persist over the season when he finished the first session with the car, but he didn't know that it would take so long to fix them. I had a feeling when I first drove the car, but you can never say no and you can never say never. Maybe we would have fixed it by the first race. Who knows? It's sometimes difficult to know how long it's going to take to fix those things. Plus, I'd never had bouncing like that. I didn't expect the guys to take as long. They didn't expect it to take as long as it's taken them to understand what's causing the bouncing. They've had to create new tools, all these things we didn't have before. One of the main reasons why we're still seeing Hamilton race in 2022 is the fact that he is chasing his 8th record-breaking championship for himself. On top of that, Hamilton is facing the first season in his career that will be completed without him winning at least one race, which is something that could leave a black mark on the legacy he's left in F1. Although it is not entirely his fault that the W13 version of Mercedes' car is performing so poorly, Hamilton's purpose in Mercedes is clear: to help the team get back on track and become successful again. Mercedes dominated the sport from 2014 to 2021 when they won 7 straight Drivers' Championships and 8 straight Constructors' Championships. All good things must come to an end, and according to Hamilton, it was really frustrating that the team couldn't turn things around in the 2022 season and then make the car more competitive with every race passing by. You just hold on to hope, and then the next upgrade comes and it doesn't work, and the next one comes and doesn't work. Imagine people that are building those things and they are seeing performance in the wind tunnel, but they are not seeing it on the track. Ah, Jesus, you just keep getting knocked back down. But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and we're still standing tall. It's not going to be easy to change the car into a leading car for next year, but I think we have a much better understanding in why the car is the way it is. According to Toto Wolff, making yourself good again isn't something that is done easily, and it could be a much bigger challenge than you had originally hoped. One of the main reasons why is that there's one single cause that's provoking all of the problems of the troublesome car, but it's a mix of multiple factors. This could be one of the reasons why the team has decided to completely change the DNA of the car, meaning that the philosophy behind it will be totally different, although the bodywork will likely remain the same, with many hoping that the no-pad side pod will be gone from 2023 onwards. That's unlikely to change due to the fact that the team will be pushed much further down the grid if they opt for one of the solutions that Ferrari and Red Bull have opted for. To turn the ship in this industry is a little bit like an oil tanker. First, you have to understand what the root cause is for your non-performance, and then you have to peel the various skins off. What is the first layer? What is the second layer? Are we really on top of all the questions? And the answer is no, we are not. But I think a big chunk of the performance that we are missing, we have discovered. It's not something we can change this year. It's decisions that we've made for next year. But I am not 100% confident to say here next year we will be fighting for the World Championship. The aim is, the expectation is, but there is still work to do, said Wolff. On top of that, Hamilton spoke about all the issues that made the 2022 car so troublesome to drive. This does have a huge impact on how the car will perform from 2023 onwards, because the engineers are heavily dependent on the feedback of the drivers in order to improve the car. When talking about this, Hamilton added, "It's been a bunch of different things from the get-go. Bouncing was the one that's most visible. Stiffness, global stiffness of the car, to the point that the suspension is pretty useless. Stiffer than the tires. The tires are then squashing and bouncing, so we're bouncing on the tires as well. And then aero characteristics. Drag is a huge problem for us. When we get past a certain speed, that's when other people are pulling away. It's when you brake and the front dips and the rear comes up and the aero transferring during that period, and when you get on the power. It's different between low and high speed. There are so many problems." What's even more interesting is the fact that Hamilton said that he tried out every possible setting for the car, making his driving experience a very nervous one due to the fact that he wasn't able to adapt to a few setups and just be able to push for wins with these setups. "That's why literally I have tried everything. I've tried every setting you can possibly do. That's what I was doing at the beginning of the year. The whole idea of performing at your best and getting the best result each weekend, of course, that would be nice, but I was really about problem solving. So, I will sacrifice this session or all the sessions to be able to find more data and information for you, so that when we go back to the factory, they've got a better understanding of what's going on. But it ultimately hindered some of the weekends," concluded Hamilton. The 7-time world champion also shared some of his future plans, saying that he is entering the film industry with his new company, Dawn Apollo Films. The first film, a documentary about his life, is set to be released next year, with Brad Pitt playing the lead. On top of that, Hamilton said that he wants to fully focus on this project when he retires, which is something that we are more than happy to hear. But what happens in 2023? It's evident that the team will struggle in the upcoming days, which is one of the reasons why Hamilton hasn't fully served his role as a guinea pig, something he addressed earlier this season. With the engine freeze taking place until the 2026 season, it would be almost impossible for Mercedes to find that straight-line speed, something they are lacking in a huge way compared to Red Bull and Ferrari. With that being said, what do you think of Hamilton's comments on the W13? Do you think that the Briton will help his team return to the winning stages? Let us know in the comments below.